This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to the next episode of Interview with the Lockpicker. Today's guest is Xvinity. Say hi.
Hey everyone.
So, how old are you?
I don't want to really give the exact age, but I am a teenager. I'll say younger teenager.
Okay. But you're learning a fun skill, and yep, as long as you're using it responsibly, all is good, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when I first got in it, sorry to
no, go ahead.
interrupt you.
Go
When I
ahead.
first got in it felt a little kind of sketchy, and I thought the community would be a little weird, but ended up finding everyone to be really nice, and it's been really fantastic.
Yep. Okay. So, where are you from exactly?
I am from Canada.
Okay. So, exactly how did you get into Locksport then?
So it wasn't. I don't have a crazy story about it. It was about maybe 3 months ago now. But I was watching a video by McNally, and I just thought that it was really cool. I believe it was one of the ones where he just smacked a lock open, and then I just continued to watch some of his videos.
So you mean smacking one lock into another one to open?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've tried it a few times, but it hasn't really worked too well.
no, I'm I'm sure he's had a lot of practice at it, as well as many other things he does. So, what did you do next to kind of further along your getting into Locksport then, into lockpicking?
Well, I mean, the first few was like almost a month where I was interested. I was just looking at lockpick sets, deciding what it was cool, and then I ended up getting the FNG from Covert Instruments.
Okay. Now, being a teenager, did you have any challenges or difficulties in obtaining the set?
I mean, it's not easy for me to really buy stuff online, especially online.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine.
I've had a ton of trouble with that,
Okay.
but it worked out eventually.
So you mentioned that you had that the FNG kit was working out well for you, except you had a little incident.
Oh yeah, my quint rake. It what was it, about a week ago? I was messing around with it and it ended up breaking.
Okay. Well, that happens to the best of
Yeah,
us when we're first getting going in this. So, um,
yeah.
it
A good
happens.
thing about it is the tip of it is kind of like crescent-ish, and
Hmm.
the C clips, especially on my 1100, fit in it perfectly. So
Oh,
I've
that's
been
cool.
using it as a C clip remover.
See, so you repurposed it as a tool for something else.
Yep.
I think a lot of people keep picks that they break because they can use them for other things, like picks that you break the tips off of. Sometimes, if it's a squared off break, or even if you have a file and can square it off, they work well for things like sliders and other types of locks. So it's worth holding on to them, and you can repurpose them. So what were some of the first locks you got your hands on then?
So of course, the lock that comes with the FNG was like the only lock I had for like probably in a few weeks. But then I was able to get a Master Lock 140, which till this day, despite me being an orange belt, still kicks my ass.
Well, you'll get it. Don't worry about that. And what was the other lock that you picked up?
The Master Lock 3.
Okay. And how's that
Much,
been?
it's much easier.
Okay.
I feel like I wish it was a little bit harder, so it kind of gave me more of a bridge between my that and my 140.
Okay. So you mentioned to me that you were thinking about getting the Echelon pick set from Covert Instruments, but you got something else instead?
Yeah. Well, around this time was when I really got into watching Sandman's like review videos, and I saw that set come up quite a bit. So
Yeah, it's a nice set.
I was kind of dreaming about it for a while, and then the reason why I didn't get it was because Cheesehead, which this is when I got into the unlocked community on Discord, he offered me an intermediate set and he gave me a really good deal on it. So I decided to go with that instead.
Uh,
And that's been wonderful.
what brand on the intermediate set?
Oh, Jimmy Longs.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I forgot to
Yeah.
mention that.
No, that's okay. So you've been kind of limited in your growth because of access to locks. So do you have more locks that you're planning on getting your hands on, or?
So I haven't gotten any locks myself, other than like I bought a Fortress. It's kind of like a Master Lock 140 from Cheesehead when I got the Jimmy Longs picks.
Okay.
But a bunch of really nice members, and I mean a bunch of really nice members of the Locksport community, have sent me a huge package full of a bunch of locks. And it is probably going to be, well, one of them's going to be here in probably a few days. One of them's already here by Lock Junkie, so big shout out to him.
Okay. So you have the Jimmy Long's intermediate set, and you have the original FNG kit from Covert Instruments. Do you have anything planned next, or does that work for you for now?
So in the kit with the locks, there's also going to be some lock picks. But for now, my go for what I get next will be or not the starter set, the basics Jimmy Long set in 18,000s, and it's basically the first version of the intermediate.
Okay. All right. So when you were first learning to pick, what were some of the challenges that you faced learning how to pick?
I really had a ton of problems with understanding how tensioning works. It's not really like I've kind of had a moment where I just clicked as soon as I learned how it actually affects a lock. Because before I was kind of as lock noob, I believe it's lock noob that says bitch picking, and I didn't really know what I was doing in the lock. I was just being
Yep.
completely random.
Yep.
So
when did it all? I hate to use the term, but I'll be punny here. So when did it all click for you?
you should have used when did it all pop.
Yeah, that too. Okay. So when did
I don't know.
that happen for you?
Probably about a month ago.
Okay. So is that kind of when you started to maybe understand like the binding order and all of that a bit better and
Yeah.
feeling?
Yeah, I never really.
Well,
Definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned something about feeling the pins and not being able to feel
Yeah,
those at first.
well, when I was new, I tended to just pick on the warding. So since then, I've really learned how to
Gotcha.
actually locate the pins and pick the actual pins and not break my picks.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. So you mentioned that you initially got interested in lockpicking through watching a McNally video. What other YouTube influencers would you say kind of has helped you become and get better at picking, and which YouTube channels do you really like to watch right now?
Yeah. Well, for entertainment, so he doesn't come up with videos too often. There's still often uploads, but I feel like I binge watched all of his YouTube videos. But I just really like watching Sandman's reviews.
Okay.
However, he is a little bit direct. I think you'll agree with that.
Oh yeah.
But
he's
nice.
very direct, and I appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
So,
he's not. He'll never be lying. You can tell he's not lying.
So. He's brutally honest.
Yeah, that's another way to say that.
Yeah. So, anybody else?
Well, about that time, round, I discovered Lady Locks and I started talking to her. So Lady Locks and then a bunch of other members in the community like Trucking Lock, and I listen to Lock Noob, but he's not really too well. I haven't really talked to him personally, but I
Hmm.
still watch his videos. He's um, really educational on
Yes,
that.
definitely. Okay. And I'm assuming the standard LPL.
Yeah, of course, LPL.
So,
I mean,
uh,
I probably watched him way too much than I should have, even before I got into Locksport.
we have to give LPL a lot of credit. He's one of the reasons
Yeah,
why so many people get interested in Locksport initially, and then people, I think, then start to tune into some of the other pickers that are out there and probably learn even more from them. So I can't say that you haven't hooked up with some of the most stand up people out there in the community, with everybody that you've mentioned so far. It's full of wonderful people, but the ones you've mentioned are definitely awesome people that are. I'm glad that that are out there. So so speaking of that, how did you initially get introduced to the Locksport community?
so the first really time I got introduced was on Reddit, and how I really like figured out Reddit. I saw a few videos talking about Reddit and how the LPU community on that,
Okay.
and then from that I went to Discord. So it took like probably a month of Locksport before I got into Discord. But one day I randomly messaged Luce, and he invited me to the unlocked server on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I've been all over the place on in the community.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's two of the best places you can get to, especially on Discord. Great people on there and lots of information. So, because you've gotten, so you're on LPU, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, did you get introduced to the belt ranking system on from Reddit or from Discord?
So I got my white belt on Reddit, and I mostly didn't do anything else on Reddit with the belt ranking system. Then I went to just yellow and orange on LPU, and I've been using that.
Okay. So you're at orange then. You're working on green.
Yes, I
So
am doing a American Lock 1100,
okay.
which progressive pinning actually.
Okay. Well, good luck to that.
Thank you.
Lots of great videos out there on that subject too of progressive pinning. So
Yeah,
have you had your chance to try your hand at any challenge locks yet?
I haven't received or really. I've had interest in them, but I haven't. I don't have any currently.
Well, maybe one of our listeners can get in
Yeah,
touch with you and hook you up with
I mean,
some to try.
yeah, a few people have chatted with me about them,
Okay.
and they've been really nice, and I'm seeing what they'll do.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what was, so you have a YouTube channel, and that'll be linked in the description of this video. Um, what was your original reason for starting your YouTube channel?
So the first time I made my YouTube channel was for giveaways, because there was a bunch of giveaways going on at the time. It was a spree of people hitting new achievements with subscribers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered a bunch of giveaways.
And
Since then, though, I've done more traditional style videos instead of just giveaways, though.
okay, so is that what you're going to do with, as far as the future goes for your channel? Is that
Yeah,
you're going to do more of those kind of videos?
yeah, probably. I mean, I'll probably enter a giveaway when I see it. I mean, free stuff's always free stuff,
Of course it
but
is.
yeah, I'll be more just documenting my journey.
So I wanted to ask you a question that was a little bit off the cuff, but what has it been like for you being younger and talking with a lot of adults, I would imagine, who are lockpickers. How's that been for you?
Honestly, it's felt kind of normal to me because I don't know why, but people my age are just kind of nowadays they just feel not really like me, I'd say.
Okay. So, do you have any specific thank yous you'd like to give in to any specific lock sporters out there?
I mean, I have to really thank Lady Locks because she's the one that's been probably the biggest help with helping me, kind of giving me the confidence to like admit my age on it and be well. I probably wouldn't have a YouTuber be here right now without her. So
Mm-hmm.
she's been really helpful.
Yes, she's a pillar of the community as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
Trucking Lock. He makes amazing videos, but he's also a great friend of mine.
Yes, he is.
And I really love what he says about tensioning and how he really prioritizes how important it is because it really is. It's not really talked about much in lockpicking, but it is very important.
I remember when he was first starting his channel and he put that his initial tensioning video up and he was amazed at how many hits and views that got. And after looking at it, yes, he did a phenomenal job of going through that and explaining in really easy to understand terms how to tension. So, you know, thanks to Trucking Lock for doing that too, because I think that helps a lot of people out there. So you wanted to talk a little bit about your hobbies a bit. So you mentioned that you're into physical fitness.
Yes, I've been. So since my age, I don't really have access to a gym. So I've been doing calisthenics, which is just body weight exercises and stuff. I've been doing that for a few months now, probably
Okay.
about 6 months almost.
So what is exactly your goal? Is it for weight training, endurance? What exactly are you shooting for?
Well, at first, I just did it for something to do, and it just felt like it kind of fit whenever I did it. Felt good when I did it.
Okay. All right. All right. So, I guess last question before we wrap up. What is your favorite thing about Locksport?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Take
Probably just
take your
how
chime
nice
and
the
answer
community
it.
is.
What was
Probably
that?
just how nice the
Yeah.
community is and how helpful everyone's been.
Yeah. Definitely. That's a reoccurring and echoing sentiment I hear time and time from everybody over and over
Yeah.
again. So, definitely. So,
I mean,
go ahead.
when I first started kind of getting into the community, it was really nerve wracking. I was a bit, I wouldn't say scared, probably shy would be the best word for it,
Hmm.
but I've really been surprised.
It probably gave you a level of comfort you weren't expecting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
especially because Locksport, it just seems like lock picking people that pick locks would be like a sketchy community. It's not really what you think.
Well, I'm not going to say we don't have a few sketchy folks out there, and I mean that in a very you know, kind of nudge teasing people kind of way.
Uh,
We've got a lot of good people out there. So, so do you have a final message you'd like to give to our audience before we wrap up?
Nothing. I don't really have anything crazy to say, but I just want to thank everyone who's helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even most people that don't think they've helped me tremendously. And I really appreciate everyone.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and doing this interview. It's been fun to get to talk to you, and we talked for a bit during the pre-interview, which was I enjoyed that. But
Thank you.
thank you for you know, really stepping up to the plate here, and you know, show some of these other people that hey, you know, This can be
Community
done.
is pretty great.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is and this is fun. I try to make it fun, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, it's
okay.
definitely been a really fun process.
Okay, good. I'm glad. All right. I'm with that. I'm gonna start to wrap this up. Then, I wanted to say what I typically try to get in at the end. If you haven't been interviewed yet, why not? Everybody has a story to tell. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing locksport or lockpicking. Everybody has something to share about themselves, and let us get to know who you are. That's kind of what makes us tighter and closer as a community. So, with that, I ask people to reach out and let's get something set up. So, alrighty then. I'll wrap this one up. If you are currently a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and all, and hit like on the video. And thanks for listening.